What is going on, my reefing fan? March here. This is Fragbox TV. Okay, welcome back to the channel. I don't like anemones, and I'm going to tell you why in this video. But if you're new, hello. This is a store here in Toronto that specializes in saltwater corals and aquariums. This is our Reef Casa Studio Ghost. Why do we call it the Ghost? Because it's all white. It's pretty cool. White stand, white tank, white background, white custom VCA random flow generator. But anyways, let's get into the anemones and why I'm not the biggest fan of them. And this is a really good example right here because of what's happening today. I don't really like corals. Okay, it's not a coral. It's an invertebrate, it's an animal. But I think of it sort of as a coral because it's kind of like decoration, sort of the way the corals are. Your clowns are going to host in it, except these ones are kind of dumb and they're actually deciding to host this open brain rather than the 5 anemones that are in here. But I don't like corals. I'm going to say corals again. I don't like these things that can move on their own. So if I place an open brain coral here, or mushroom corals like in this tank, our Studio 12-gallon, flower pots, Yumas, Monty Caps, Zoanthids, Gorgonians, Recordia, branching Monty Cap, you know, you glued them to the rock and they're more or less stationary. They're not going to pick up and walk. That cannot be said for anemones. They have a mind of their own. They're going to go wherever they see fit. So if you have a plan for your tank, it may not align with their plan for your tank, and he's decided today that he's going to go in the overflow, which is very dangerous. I'm going to talk about that in a second. I'm going to give you the second reason why I'm not the biggest fan of anemones, and typically I don't put them in any of my tanks. Not my tanks at home, not the tanks here in the store. Now, we do sell a lot of them. They're beautiful, I get it. The thing about anemones is they have a crazy sting, so anything that they touch, they are going to kill. There's really nothing that beats the anemone. This is getting quite close here to a blastomussa, but at any point in time, they can pick up, move, kill, and sting your favorite coral. So I would never, ever think about adding an anemone to a tank like this that's really established. It's got lots of corals. There's no way it's not going to end up killing something I like. I'm not going to be able to stick it and go for the best. The same thing goes with this tank here. It's too full. It's got too much going on. You put an anemone in, I'm looking for trouble. It's going to end up killing something that I value and love for sure. So for that reason, as a very powerful and potent sting, I don't like putting them in the tanks. The third reason, I'm usually not so negative on the channel, but I'm a realist and I'm just giving you my real reasons. The third reason is they grow incredibly quick. They split, they grow to a certain size, and then they do this like fusion thing where they split at the mouth and then a second one is created. I've seen many tanks here in the city of Toronto, many tanks all over the world that can get overrun, overtaken by anemones. You start with one, and once they're happy, there's really no stopping them. So in a way, they can kind of become a beautiful pest. Now, if you're happy with that and you're cool, go ahead, load up with anemones. Let them grow and sting and do their thing. Some people do anemone-dominated tanks. They look freaking awesome. You do that with a harem of clownfish, really, really beautiful. But sometimes the growth rate can just be explosive. We have people that come and just donate anemones to us. They come with, 10 or 20 and they say, hey, can I trade these in? Absolutely not, because the ones that we have are also growing incredibly fast. So for that reason, I'm out. I feel like I'm on Shark Tank. Now I'm going to give you reason number 4. Number 4 is an anemone has a healthy anemone at least, has a very strong foothold. And keep in mind, I'm talking today really about bubble tips. I'm not talking about carpet anemones, max mini anemones, long tentacle, or what's the other one called? Rock flowers. They don't grow as fast. They don't have all of the same sort of problems I'm describing right now with these. These are really, I'm talking mostly about the bubble tip anemones. So they have a very strong foot if they're happy and healthy. Hello, Mr. Clownfish. And when they're on the rock and they find a cave like this, it is not easy to get them off without damaging them. Now this one that I'm going to get back to in a second, I'm going to tell you why this is really dangerous. I'm getting there. This is how my brain works. That one's going to be really easy to get off. But the ones that are in the rock, like these two right here, without breaking the rock apart or damaging their foot, I'm not going to be able to get these pieces out. The other way, I would be able to, I could take out the entire rock, disrupt the tank, disrupt the bacteria, upset the fish and all the other corals, take it outside with a chisel and hammer and take them off. It's a pain in the butt. When they are happy and well positioned in the rock, it is not easy. I usually just try and use my fingernail to gently kind of suggest that they come out, but sometimes they are really, really in there, and they'll even find like a little cave, and they'll put their foot deep inside the cave, and then they will stretch out from it. So it looks like they're on the surface of the rock, but they're not. They're well anchored, they're smart. So when you go and touch them, they just retract and sink back into the cage because they're full of water. They're really, like this one here, when I take it off, you won't believe how small it's gonna look. It's gonna maybe go to like the size of a dollar coin, what we call a loonie here in Canada. A loonie is our little golden $1. Americans, you guys have the bill. I don't know where you're watching from. So for that reason, again, I'm out. I'm giving all the negative reasons behind an anemone. They are beautiful. Now, I'm gonna go to reason number 5. And this for me is probably the most important, and why I don't put any anemones in any of the display tanks of the store is this right now, what is happening. So I told the staff, we can do it. I'm not really happy about doing it. Let's see what happens. And they're all saying, no, he's not going to do it, March. You know what? He's happy. Look how he was over here on the rock. He was looking really great. Why is he going to pick up and move and walk from a beautiful spot over to the overflow where he's going to destroy the tank and my store? Why would he do that? Because they're evil? No, because they have minds of their own. And he's decided today, I'm going to go for a ride in the overflow. Now, what happens if he blocks the grates on the overflow, and I'm using something called an auto top off. I have the Tunzi Osmolator 3. Awesome ATO. Just did a video review on it. Made in Bavaria. Love you guys. Made in Germany. Great auto top off unit. What happens when this gets clogged? If he continues to move, as I suspect he will, and he blocks this, I can even just sort of simulate what's going to happen with my finger. If I block it, the water's not able to get out of the display here in time. And what's going to happen is the water is going to begin to rise. But in the back of the tank, and my auto top off, it's going to think that it's running low on water from evaporation, but it's not. It's actually because we have a blockage here. And so what will happen is that over time, this will fill up and most likely overflow. Actually, it won't overflow because we've designed our reef casa tanks not to, but it's going to come really, really close to the edge. Okay, I don't really want to simulate it, but what happens is this gets blocked. Water level goes up here, water level drops in here, ATO turns on, floods the tank with fresh water from a reservoir underneath. So this entire 5 gallons is going to dump in here. Our saltwater tank is going to be a freshwater tank, and I'm most likely going to have water all over the floor. Really unsafe. This is very against my ways, having electrical. That might get wet. This will get flooded. I'll ruin the wood. I'm going to be upset. The anemone's going to be dead. The tank's going to be fresh. Mostly everything in here will be dead except for the clam. Oddly enough, I learned that clams are freshwater resistant because I had something like this happen a long, long time ago. But that was different. I left my RODI on and I forgot, and I went home for the day. I said, oh, that's it. I'm done at Fragbox. And I flooded the entire store. Killed everything in a Red Sea reefer. The only thing that lived was somehow a clam. I think they closed so tight that it actually holds the salt water inside it. So this is a possible catastrophic failure from a very pretty looking anemone. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and remove him now, very gently. It's going to be quite easy because he's got nothing really to grab onto here. Against the acrylic, I can just get my finger underneath him, so that's really, really simple. That's it. Problem avoided. And now I love this anemone. This is one that I'm growing here in the store. But I wouldn't do it in an all-in-one tank like this. I usually have it in that tank, or you can put it in a bigger tank where this doesn't happen. So this is really only possible, I would say, in all-in-one tanks with ATOs installed. But still, I think there's enough people out there that, you know, can have that problem. We can go live with these ones. As you can see, we always keep our anemones in baskets in the store because for all the reasons I just laid out in the video. Comment below. I am being super negative in today's video. Maybe we want some team anemone people to give us the flip side, the other side, why you should keep them and why they're amazing and why I'm wrong. Let us know. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to see me rant or talk about something else, you can let me know in the comments below and I'll be happy to do that for you guys. Enjoy your day. Bye for now.